This might be a little controversial. I gotta walk this line very carefully. This is the song I am doing a fully choreographed dance to in my car. It's hard to admit, and I'm so sorry for everybody who absolutely loves this song. I will repeat this song. I will never skip it. This is actually very surprising to me, but you're literally just crying in the club. It reminds me kind of Last Kiss. It like scratches an itch in my brain. This is going to be quite the challenge. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's Nina. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you, and if you're not new, thanks for coming back. It has now been almost 2 months since Tortured Poets has come out, and I feel like I'm finally ready to sit down and rank these songs, essentially. I feel like I've had so much time with this album now to kind of really let the lyrics sink in, really figure out what songs I resonate most with, and maybe songs that I don't as much. And I'm very excited because I have never done a tier ranking before. I literally had no idea how to do tier ranking or what it was until literally a few hours ago when I looked it up, because when I was thinking about ranking these songs, I really did not want to rank them in order, like 1 through 31. I feel like the same way I was feeling about my album ranking, I was feeling about this album, because I'm like, I can't put a single song at the very bottom of the list. So I figured out that tier ranking allows me to kind of put them into categories, not necessarily rank any at the very bottom. I know the point of a ranking is to have an opinion, but sometimes I am terribly scared of people being offended, not agreeing with me. Obviously, no one is going to agree all the time on Taylor Swift songs, which one's the best. That is why it's subjective. Everyone has their opinion, but I am afraid. I am always afraid when I do a ranking video. Before we jump into the ranking, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every week, and if you don't want to miss an upload, go ahead and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Sometimes I think it is so funny that this is my job, and I'm so incredibly grateful that being a Taylor Swift fan has led me into a career that I really never imagined could be possible. And if you are a dedicated diehard Swiftie like me, I have the most incredible opportunity to share with you guys. And this opportunity is coming from the sponsor of today's video, which is Get Your Guide. I absolutely love Get Your Guide. I have used them so much as a Swiftie who loves to travel. Get Your Guide is a leading global online destination to discover and book travel experiences in more than 10,000 cities. They are looking for the ultimate Swiftie to create and lead immersive Taylor Swift-inspired tours in New York City and London, England. Do you know the exact location of the dive bar on the east side? Do you know exactly where Cornelia Street is, the All Too Well bookstore? Or maybe you know Taylor Swift's favorite hidden gems, her restaurants that she eats at, and just places that she frequents all the time, or just any place that she spent a lot of time at in all these cities that she has called home. If you're thinking to yourself, I promise that they're never gonna find another like me, then it's time for you to speak now. For your chance to be the ultimate Swiftie tour guide, all you need to do is follow @GetYourGuide on your preferred platform, so Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Create a video highlighting why you are going to be the best and ultimate Taylor Swift tour guide. Showcase your creativity, your expertise, all your knowledge about the Taylor Swift universe in New York City or London. Be sure to tag Get Your Guide and On Location Tours, and don't forget to include the hashtag #UltimateSwiftyGuide. Wishing you all the best of luck. Sincerely, your fellow member of the Tortured Travelers Department. Thank you again to Get Your Guide for sponsoring this video. I love you guys so much. And now let's get into this ranking. So the theme that I went with for my tiers was lyrics about books and literature and stories, because I feel like that is the aesthetic of the Tortured Poets Department. Obviously, it's about poetry, writing, manuscripts. Taylor is an author and a writer. So for our top tier, we are going with It's a Love Story. And these are going to be the best songs on the album. Songs that I don't skip, lyrically, sonically, production-wise, really resonate with me and that I love so much. Feel very strongly about. My favorites from the entire album. Can I just say I love this tier maker thing, because I literally just googled Taylor Swift tier list Tortured Poets Department, and somebody had already created this template, which I love so much. So my B tier songs are going to be She's the Kind of Book That You Can't Put Down. So these are songs that I also don't skip, but they don't quite hit me as lyrically hard, but the lyrics are still very good. The songs have me feeling some type of way. I feel like Tortured Poets Poets is so special because of like, as somebody who loves lyrics and deeper meanings, every single song is so meaningful, and I feel like there's some that are just hit so much harder. So I feel like that is going to be the category those songs will fit into. For our third tier, we've got A Great Little Story. This is a lyric from Cold As You, if you're not familiar. This is kind of like our middle of the road. It's a good song. I don't feel strongly about it either way. Songs that are probably going to be growers for me. They have a lot of potential to maybe someday make it to the top tiers, but for right now, they're coasting. I'm gonna probably discover them in 6 months, year, 5 years later when I can relate to them more, and they might become closer to me than they are currently. Okay, so moving on to our fourth tier, and this is The Story's Got Dust on Every Page. Songs that I feel like she's either kind of done before, songs that aren't as hard-hitting, or I feel like I wasn't completely fulfilled by, either lyrically or production-wise, something that I feel like there was a little bit more room for improvement. But again, I have put songs into this category before that have slowly risen to my favorites list over time. So these are just up on the shelf. They're getting a little dusty because I haven't listened to them as much as the other songs. And now for our bottom tier, which is going to be Long Story Short, It Was a Bad Time. I don't foresee me putting too many songs here at all because I do love this album a lot, but this is just going to be songs that I either have listened to the least or kind of don't resonate with me as much as the other songs do. I'm not gonna say the lyrics are bad because the lyrics are good for pretty much every song, but it's just songs that I don't connect to as much, I guess. So yeah, those are my 5 tiers. Okay, so here are my tiers and all of the songs. Seeing them lined up like this, it doesn't feel like there's that many songs, but there's literally 30 songs, and they've even included the Fortnite remix on here, which is interesting. This is going to be quite the challenge. Am I ready for it? No. Have I thought about how I would rank these songs before right this second? Also no. I'm going in completely blind, no thoughts, just vibes, as always. Okay, so starting with Fortnite. This is the lead-off single, the first track on the entire album, and I will say this is not what I was expecting from the first track of this album at all. Usually Taylor's track 1s are very hooking, a little bit more upbeat. If I'm thinking about Mine, State of Grace, The One, I Forgot That You Existed, it really lays the groundwork for the whole album, and I know that the music video really helped me understand the symbolism when I did my lyric deep dive into the song. I understood it way more, why this would be the first track on the album and why this kind of lays the foundation for the rest of the songs to come. But it fell a little flat for me upon the first week of listening. I really love the outro. I think that part of the song is my absolute favorite, and it kind of ends the song on this soaring high note. So it really kind of like brings it in the back half. They kind of had me in the first half on the production of it, but when we get into this outro, it really just like breaks through. And because of that, I feel like I have to put this kind of in the middle. So I'm going to be putting Fortnite in our third tier. A Great Little Story. I feel like it does tell a little bit of a story, but it's not super clear, and I still think about this song and I feel like I'm not smart enough to completely comprehend the whole thing. So this one is a grower. It already has grown on me a lot, especially after reading through all the lyrics. If you guys want to see my lyric breakdown, I will link that down below. So that one's going there. Track 2, the title track. I had said that the Tortured Poets Department title track was the one I was most looking forward to hearing. Taylor hasn't had a title track since Lover, and before that she didn't have a title track since Red. So they're harder to come by now. She had Midnights, which the word midnights and midnight were weaved throughout the album a lot. The closest thing we got to the title track was Midnight Rain. So I was very curious because this is a mouthful. This album title is the longest one she has. The only other album title with more than one word is Speak Now. So the Tortured Poets Department was very tough to get through the brain, but now it's there. It's been a few months, but I thought I was really gonna love this one. It's a track 2, which means whenever Taylor Swift chooses a track 2, it feels like a bop or a song that has a really good hook. I'm thinking Blank Space, Endgame, Maroon, Cruel Summer, Sparks Fly, Red. This is a track that kind of hooks you, draws you in, and I didn't get that initial feeling from this track 2. I feel like I needed to listen to this song so many times to understand the subject matter, because I feel like because I didn't understand understand what the song was about, who she was referring to. I wasn't getting the meaning of the song exactly correct. I feel like that first line is so catchy. The melody of this song is like an earworm that gets stuck in your head. I find myself having this song stuck in my head quite a bit because of the lyrics. This song is so deeply narrative, has a lot of storytelling in it that's not exactly relatable to me because there's characters in this song. There's the person that has the typewriter, and then in the bridge she's talking about her friends Jack and Lucy. She's narrating what happens, especially the bridge when she says, "At dinner you would take my ring off my middle finger and put it on the one people put wedding rings on." So deeply personal and so deeply autobiographical, and I think that makes total sense for a song that is the Tortured Poets Department talking about being a poet. Poets and writers are deeply personal. Anyways, this is not a lyric breakdown, so I kind of need to just keep going through the songs, but my favorite lyric I will say from this song is, "I've seen this episode and still love the show." That metaphor is so good and so concise. I think because of that, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I feel like I'm just going to like default to the third tier, but I really, okay, for now, I'm putting Tortured Poets Department in the third tier. I don't know if I'm allowed to like go back and change some of these, but for now, it's there. It's a great little story. Sometimes I'll skip it if I'm not in the mood, but it is a song that gets stuck in my head and that I sing a lot just walking around. I chose this cyclone with you. That is a lyric I sing a lot just because it gets stuck in my head. Okay, moving on. My boy only breaks his favorite toys. This song is so good. At first, I don't think I knew how I felt about it from the verse, but as soon as she got into the chorus, I knew that I was gonna love this song because there's something about the beat and there's something about the way that she sings the words that's like serotonin. She sings that initial first line of the chorus, and then when it has the beat drop into the second half of the chorus when she says, "'Cause if it too right, puzzle pieces in the dead of night." I love when rhymes are just like so perfect. It like scratches an itch in my brain. It's so satisfying. And this is one I will not skip, and I will play it a lot. This one is for sure going in the second tier. She's the kind of book that you can't put down. This is a song that I can't stop listening to. Like, I can't skip it. It's so good. Literally just for that chorus, and then I love the bridge so much. It like opens up in the song because it feels like when she's starting in the verses in the chorus, it feels very minor, it feels very seething and angsty, but when she gets into the bridge, it's like opened up a wound and you really get the vulnerable bridge. Just say when we'll play again. It's like she's a little kid. She stripped off that mask of being a little bit angsty, tongue-in-cheek, and now she's just being honest. So anyways, I love this song so much. Okay, moving on to our fourth track, Down Bad. Ugh. Down Bad is God tier. It is literally a love story. I love this song so much. I will repeat this song. I will never skip it. If I'm like opening up my Spotify and I want to listen to this album, more times than not, I will choose this to be the first song I hear just because it is good for any vibes. It's good if you're happy and you want to yell the chorus, but it's also good if you're sad or like feeling angry. It's just like all of the emotions all in one song with a killer beat behind it. This is the song I am doing a fully choreographed dance to in my car. And I always know that it's one of my favorites when it has that kind of presence in my car when I'm driving. Along with this, some other songs that fit this vibe for me are Sparks Fly, Blank Space, Say Don't Go, Message in a Bottle. It just has that feeling that I cannot explain. I love this song so much. It's a sad bop. Like, the bridge is so devastating, but you're literally just crying in the club. It's classic Taylor writing the most heartbreaking lyrics and Jack Antonoff putting synths and beats and crazy production over it to make it feel like it's not as sad as it actually is. Absolute banger. Okay, moving on to track 5. This might be a little controversial. So Long London, I had pretty high expectations, and that's probably my fault because I feel like if this was not a track 5, I would have liked it more, but because I have such high high hopes and high expectations for track 5, it fell a little flat for me. I didn't feel the emotion as much as I really wanted to. And the production was so surprising to me because I know that not all track 5s are more acoustic or piano or slow songs, but this one just didn't fit the track 5 mold for me. And I was talking about this last week with my friends, and I was saying if I had to choose a different track 5 for the first half of Torture Poets, I probably would have chosen Loss of My Life. I feel like that song is so vulnerable and so track 5 to me. I like the song So Long London, but as a track 5, I just wasn't sure that that was the right choice. Obviously it was the right choice because Taylor made the choice and it's her album and she chooses which songs are the most vulnerable. I wanted a little more catharsis from listening to this song, and it just felt like a straight line the whole time. And I get like the beat is very fast and it's supposed to kind of produce anxiety and give you those feelings of anxiety because that's how she felt in the relationship. I do acknowledge that the lyrics are so good. There are very vulnerable lyrics in this song, but there's so many other songs that also have very vulnerable lyrics. So I do wonder what her process is of choosing which song fits that space for her. And when she says, "I'm pissed off you let me give you all that youth for free," a murder was committed, like nail in the coffin. I think that was her saying something, getting something off her chest that she has wanted to say. That lyric is most vulnerable, and then this one that says, "When you're not sure if he wants to be there." So Long London, I'm gonna put it in the Story's Got Dust on Every Page, because I do skip it sometimes. It's hard to admit, and I'm so sorry for everybody who absolutely loves this song. I'm sure like you have your own experience with it. This is gonna be a song that is gonna grow on me over time. Hopefully I'll never have to relate to it, but I'm sure if I ever do, it will move up the list. Okay, moving on to our track 6, But Daddy I Love Him. This is a classic middle of the album uplift. Like you were getting in your feels for the first couple songs, a morale booster. But Daddy I Love Him. It feels like a country song. It feels like love story all grown up, and that's exactly what it is, because there was a clip that recently resurfaced of Taylor Swift saying when she wrote Love Story, it was like the classic teenage fit. She was fighting with her parents and she's like, I probably screamed something like, "But Daddy I Love Him."
This is a song that I wrote about a boy who I liked, but my parents didn't. My one epic teenage tantrum that I ever threw in my whole life. I remember screaming something like, "But Daddy, I love him!" And
which is the most crazy premonition foreshadowing ever. And Taylor Swift, I feel like, unintentionally does this, and there's so many coincidences of her predicting stuff like this. But this is a country song, and I love it so much. I am immediately putting this one in the second tier here. She's the kind of book that you can't put down. I normally don't skip it. So fun to sing. It's so fun to dance to. It's my sister's favorite on the album. I love how she performs it on the Eras tour. It's exactly the feelings and the vibes that I get from this song. My favorite line from this song is "He was chaos, he was revelry," for no other reason other than I love the way that it sounds. And I love the way how she repeats it towards the end. He was chaos, he was revelry. I just love it so much. And it's got the bridge that you can just yell. This is one of those songs that it's like a cathartic experience. Just like yelling it out to the world, just singing those words. I'd rather burn my whole life down than listen to one more second of all this bitching and moaning. I feel like all of us feel like that sometimes, and that's why this belongs pretty high up on the list. Okay, the next song we have is Fresh Out the Slammer. This is one that has already grown on me, I will say. I wasn't sure about it at first, but this one does get stuck in my head quite a bit. The cadence and the melody of the verse gets stuck in my head, and I love the way that it just bounces back and forth. Another summer taking cover, rolling. Like, I love the rhyming and how it just like flows so well. And then I love when she gets into the chorus that she goes into that high octave. I'm not gonna sing it, I'll spare you, because that's so high. She really is just showing off her vocal range here. Fresh Out the Slammer. Oh my gosh, gosh, where am I putting this? I'm stuck between second and third tier. This is actually very surprising to me that I'm considering putting it higher because I really didn't like it as much at first, but this one has grown a lot on me. And I love at the very end when the entire tempo of the song changes and it kind of winds down. Okay, I'm putting it in the second tier. That is actually shocking that I am ranking it this high to me. I don't think it's until I sat down and looking at all these songs that I know how I feel about them. So I encourage all of you to do the same thing, and maybe you'll figure out that some songs are actually favored more than others. Next we have Florida. Again, this is another song that I wasn't sure where to place when I first heard it. It's fun, and this is a song that is most popular, I feel like, with the more general fans. I feel like a lot of my friends who kind of listen to Taylor Swift but aren't really a Swiftie, a lot of them have said they like this song, which is so interesting to me. It is really fun, and it's giving like No Body No Crime vibes, just like feminine rage a little bit, and a little bit like escape. The bridge is really fun. It's an upbeat song, one that's really fun to sing. I wonder if she'll sing this as a surprise song in Florida. I feel like she will, because that's just how she is. I'm gonna put Florida in the third tier because I definitely listen to other songs more than this one, but whenever it comes on, it's very fun, and I love Florence and the Machine in the second verse. I feel like her voice lends a unique vibe to the song. I think it's kind of funny when she says, "F me up, Florida," and I'm not sure, like, I think it's fun, but I feel like it might cheapen the lyrics a little bit, and I feel like that line turns a lot of people off from the song that maybe don't like as many curse words in Taylor Swift songs. I don't mind it. I think it's fun, but yeah, I'm not sure. I could go either way. I could take or leave the F word in this song. Okay, moving on to track 9, Guilty as Sin. This is God tier. God tier. It's a love story. I'm obsessed with this song. For the first, like, month of the album coming out, me and my sister would play this in the kitchen once a day and just have a dance party. It's like Guilty as Sin hour. Well, if he's written mine on my upper thigh, I encourage you to do this. It's a definite mood booster. 3 p.m. You need a little daily pick-me-up. Tell Alexa to play Guilty as Sin and just have a moment. I love dancing to this song, and it just like gets me in the groove. This is hands down one of my favorite songs on the entire album. The chorus is so intoxicating and addicting. I think part of the reason I love this song is that Jack Antonoff added again with the production parallels to the subject matter of the song. I feel like we have a line drawn, and I gotta walk this line very carefully because some people really hate Matty Healy and some Swifties are fans of his music. I tend to fall in between because my sister loves the 1975. I know a ton of their songs and I do enjoy their music, but the fact that this production sounds so much like the 1975 just adds to that layer of meaning. It's so good. And it's like everything I love about a 1975 song and everything I love about a Taylor Swift song in one song, and that's why I love it so much. I love kind of like the symbolism. I know that there's a lot of religious symbolism in this song, and some people were having a tough time with that if you're like a Christian, but I don't think Taylor means it in like a blasphemous way at all. We must remember that Taylor is a Christian and she is using Christian metaphor to kind of explain certain feelings, I guess. And for me, I grew up Catholic and I immediately like know the meaning of what she's getting at because I grew up and I'm very familiar with the Bible and the stories and everything. It could also be an internal battle of having Christian guilt or kind of like dealing with temptation in life, because obviously she is thinking about someone else when she's in a relationship. Even though she hasn't done anything wrong, she's still feeling guilty for even thinking about somebody else. So without getting too deep into the lyrics, I just love the vibes of this song so much. I think my favorite lyric is, "Oh, if long-suffering propriety is what they want from me, they don't know how you've haunted me so stunningly." That is poetry. And she's using alliteration to kind of hook you into these lyrics. Propriety, like these hard consonants, so stunningly. Ugh. I love it. And then my other favorite lyric is, am I allowed to cry? I just love how her voice sounds singing that. Okay, I am talking way too much, and I just need to keep going with this ranking. Okay, track 10, Who's Afraid of Little Ol' Me? We are going to put this in the second tier because just female rage. It's so good. It's giving Mad Woman. It's giving Better Than Revenge level of pettiness and anger. The irony and the hyperbole of this song make it just that much better. She's taking it to the absolute extreme because that's what the media does. So I think my ranking of these songs have also a lot to do with like how well I feel like she's executed a certain theme or metaphor, or I just feel like she hit the nail on the head with this song. If she was on a mission to write a song about how angry she feels sometimes, about the double standards that she goes through with the media and the cynicism and the hypocrisy in the industry. It's like, if you're gonna hit me, be ready for me to bite back. And that's what she does with this song. The screaming is the best part, like on the Eras tour when she says, what if everything is not about me? And then she says like, what if it is? So good. We all know Taylor knows how to write a chorus, and the melody of this is so good. I leave from the gallows and I levitate down your street. Oh, that line is so good. So anyways, Who's Afraid of Little Ol' Me? Second tier, one that I definitely listen to a lot. Okay, moving on to track 11. I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can. I still don't know how I feel about this song because upon first listen, it wasn't what I was expecting. It's not a melody and it's not a structure that I typically like to listen to a lot. I feel like there's a lot of minor chords. The melody is very simple. There's no like climax of the song. There's no breakthrough moment, I guess, in the song. It just feels kind of like straight along the whole time, like a straight line. So I feel like it just lacks a little bit of luster for me. So for that reason, I am putting it in The Story's Got Dust on Every Page. I do like the line, but your good Lord doesn't need to lift a finger. I can fix him, no really I can. I like that part. Okay, moving on to LOML, aka Loss of My Life. I think it surprises me how quickly this song rose in my ranking because I feel like at first it was just a sad song. Since it's kind of like a slow piano ballad, I wasn't sure if it was going to be like top tier, but I'm gonna say this song belongs in the top tier. It's a love story, even though it's not, because this song is absolutely devastating. I think the ambiguity of the title really drew me in and made me curious, and a lot of people called it that this was going to be Loss of My Life and not Love of My Life. I think this song is lyrically beautiful. It reminds me kind of Last Kiss in sentiment, where it's just sad. It's not really angry or pointing fingers. It's just sad and depressing and raw emotion, I guess. The line that gets me is still alive, killing time at the cemetery. There's a lot of callbacks in this song to other lyrics. This whole song is just a poem. It tells a story in such a lyrical and poetic way about someone who you think has come into your life for a reason, and you think this is the one, this is it, and then all of a sudden they are not. So it's loss. It's grieving the death of a relationship when it wasn't quite, it's like not quite done, and you didn't realize you could feel this much loss, I guess, because she says, I felt a hole like this, never before and ever since. Dancing phantoms on the terrace, are they secondhand embarrassed that I can't get out of bed 'cause something counterfeits dead. So yeah, this is just a song of just depression, and that's why it's at the top of the list, because it's so good. I love a sad song, 100%. And I was listening to this in the car the other day and I was realizing how high up this song is on my list. So that was track 12, and now we have track 13, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. Now this one was shocking to me, but also not, because I felt like I knew that this was going to be about the Eras Tour. I don't think I knew how clever this song was going to be, with having all of the different Eras Tour production kind of weaved into the production of the song. The in-ear monitor countdown background, you can kind of hear mastermind production in the background. So I feel like she's drawing from all these areas of the Eras Tour to create the background of this song, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, because that is exactly what she's doing. It's like a show within a show, a song within a song. This song would not exist if not for the Eras Tour, which is crazy to think about. This is going to go in the second tier because of how clever it is. It's so good how she is able to take the most devastating, tragic lyrics and make them so fun and almost ironic. This is the same exact technique she used with Anti-Hero, talking about being depressed, having the worst time, being at rock bottom, but like make it girly pop. I know that Taylor said there's no glitter gel pens on this album, but I feel like this song is so glitter gel pen. Let me know what you guys think about that, because how can it not be? It's so sparkly. This song is so sparkly if you don't listen to the actual lyrics. All the pieces of me shattered as the crowd was chanting more. If you put that on piano, it would not be the same song. And then we have The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. How I feel about this song is that I really enjoy it. Obviously the bridge is amazing, but I feel like when I first have the song start playing, I'm already waiting for the bridge. That is the part I'm looking forward to in the song. It's almost like I kind of want to skip through the verses and get to the bridge. It's kind of like a slow burn of a song. It's like piano, and you were not expecting the shift that happens when she gets to the back half of the song. So for that reason, I feel like people are gonna be mad about this, because when I did create like my personal Eras Tour set list, like the video that I just did where I created my own Eras Tour set list, like in some other world she performed all the songs that I wanted to hear, I took this one out of the Tortured Poets set just because I feel like the main part of the song that I like is the bridge, and there's not enough of that energy throughout the entire song. But the bridge gets God tier. Like the bridge alone is Love Story. It's at the top of the list. It isn't until 2.5 minutes into the song that you hear the bridge and it picks up. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm putting this song in the third tier, A Great Little Story, because I feel like the first half she is just telling a story, and then the bridge is like a whole different song. It's lyrical masterpiece, this bridge. So wait, do I put it in the second tier? Okay, I'm thinking. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna move I Can Do It With a Broken Heart down to the third level and move The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived to the second level, because if you take the average of like the verse being third tier and the bridge being top tier, it levels out at the second tier. So that's what we're gonna do. I feel like I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, I'm not always in the mood to listen to that song just because it's so much. So I am happy with that. Okay, so I have 2 more tracks on the standard version of Tortured Poets department. Next we have The Alchemy. I am obsessed with The Alchemy. It's so good. This has definitely gotta be in like, could be in the top 5. I don't know. This is just one that I play a lot. I feel like that's kind of how I need to rank this, like the songs that I listen to the most. And I'm so glad this song made it on the album. I feel like she had to. She had to throw a couple songs in about Travi. Like, I'm really glad this song came to fruition because I was not expecting this. The Alchemy does not sound like a song that's going to be about a football player, but I love the chorus so much. Even though people might think it's a little cheesy with all the football references, I think it's so good and like the perfect way to write this kind of song. Like if she was going to write this type of song, this is how you do it in a way that's not like so completely obviously cheesy. My favorite part is the second half of the chorus when she has that extra stanza. These blokes warm the benches, we've been on a winning streak. I love that line so much. And then, of course, the bridge. Where's the trophy? He just comes running over to me. This is like the sequel to You Belong With Me. This is the end of every 90s high school rom-com. This is like One Tree Hill vibes, Cinderella story. Like, this is the type of early 2000s romance that I love to see. The Alchemy is going in the B tier. I'm putting a lot in the B tier, but I feel like there's a lot of songs that I really, really like, but aren't like my top tier favorites. I'm actually very surprised at how this is turning out right now. And then we have Clara Bow. Clara Bow, I feel like I didn't appreciate this song enough when it came out. I do love the production of it, like the guitar sound to it feels very vintage, which is kind of lending itself to the meaning of the song. I like how she goes through each verse and it's like you know exactly where she's going with this, and it really helps you understand her better, and it's the perfect closer to the standard album because it kind of just wraps it up in a nice little bow. It's a song about fame, and we know that Taylor Swift has written songs about like how fame affects her before, but not quite in this way. She wrote an entire song about this one lyric from Nothing New when she says everyone loves an ingenue, which means like the next big thing. This is her hindsight view, looking back on her entire career, kind of reflecting on songs and sentiments like Nothing New, The Lucky One, just kind of shedding light on these feelings that maybe we are not seeing because not everybody can relate to that. So she's just kind of like letting us in her reflection of how fame and the industry have affected her and the pattern that is seen, and hopefully can get better for the next generation of talented singers. So Clara Bow I'm gonna put in the third tier because I feel like it is a great little story. It's a great little storytelling moment. She's employing a lot of country music songwriting techniques in this song, which I love because I love country music, but I also just love the storytelling aspect of it. So yeah, this is the first half of Tortured Poets. This took me way longer than I realized because I just like to yap on and on about lyrics, but I think what I'm gonna do is do a part 2 video. So if you guys want to see me tier rank the rest of the anthology, please comment down below and like this video so I know that you guys would like to see that. I feel like I have a lot of differing opinions about the second half of Tortured Poets. I might have a few hot takes about the anthology. I feel like the ones I like are very different from the ones that everybody else likes. So if you guys want me to, I will definitely do part 2 and include the anthology in my tier ranking list. I hope you enjoyed thus far. Even though I am afraid, I would love to hear your opinions on my ranking down below, and I'd love to hear your guys' tier ranking of the first half of Tortured Poets. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thank you once again to Get Your Guide for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.